What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. So it seems that every single company is racing to bring their own foldable device to the market. The one that got released today is the TECNO Phantom V Fold, and just like the name suggests, this is a foldable device. So you can use it like this, or you can use it like a regular phone, but when you need a bit more space, you just open it up and then you have kind of like a tablet in your pocket basically. So when open, this is a 7.85 inches screen. This is also an Amoled screen that has a 2K resolution and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. And this screen is slightly larger than the screen that you would find on Samsung's foldable device. Interesting. When you close this, you do have another screen on this side. So this is a 6.42 inches screen, and I find that this screen is big enough so you can actually use the phone on this screen only. So if you don't want to open the phone, and if you want to write a message, if you want to watch a video, if you want to answer an email, you can do all that on the front screen. And once again, the front screen is slightly larger than the screen that you would get on Samsung's foldable device. So I'm pretty sure that was done on purpose. So the V Fold is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 9000 Plus that's paired with 12 gigs of RAM, and you can get this device with either 256 gigs of internal storage or 512 gigs of internal storage. I personally have the version with 256 gigs of internal storage. Now, for those of you that like benchmark scores, this device gets an Antutu benchmark score of just under 1 million. So you already know that you're looking at a pretty fast device. Now, just to give you an example, the latest flagship device from Samsung gets an Antutu benchmark score of about 1.2 million. So this is only about 20% lower than what you'd get from that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So this is a very fast device. That being said, you're not gonna find any application that doesn't work well on this device. So if you want a game on it, just to give you an example, I've played Call of Duty on this device and it does perform just like any other flagship out there. Not to mention that when you have this massive screen, it is much nicer to play games on such a big screen. But we'll talk more about that screen in a second. So this is using iOS version 13, which of course is based on Android 13. Now, the operating system is very similar to what you would find on a Huawei or Honor device. I actually said that last time when I've tried a TECNO phone, and it is kind of the same with this device. So everything is very smooth, very fluid. So I haven't actually found anything that slows down the phone. The phone is very fluid for pretty much anything that you're gonna do on it. Now, with a screen like this, what can you do? Well, the best thing that you're gonna be able to do on a screen like this is basically use multiple apps at the same time. Of course, you can also watch videos if you want, but the aspect ratio is not exactly designed, well, I'm not gonna say it's not exactly designed to watch videos, but when you are watching a video, you basically have two black bars, one at the top, one at the bottom. So, for example, if you're watching Netflix, you're not gonna be able to watch the full movie on the full screen. That is a downside because it would have been nice if the aspect ratio would have been perfect so you can actually watch full screen videos, but that's not how it's gonna work with this phone or a lot of other foldables available on the market. But if you're using multiple apps at the same time, having such a massive screen, it's also very, very nice. Now, with a screen like this, of course, the screen has to fold. So we have the folding mechanism right here in the center. So depending how you look at the screen, I'm not sure if you can actually see it on camera here. Depending how the light kind of reflects in the screen, you could see the crease in the middle here, but in most situations, and as I said, it really depends how the light hits the screen, so you can see that crease or not. Now, when you go with your finger over it, yes, you can feel it. So you can definitely feel it somewhere in the center here, but it's not actually bad. So it's more than usable, I'm gonna say. So it doesn't actually bother me when I'm doing something on the device. Not to mention you can always turn it the other way and then you can use it that way. And you're not even gonna touch that crease if you're using the bottom side of the device. So it really depends where you're using the phone, how you're using it, and so on. But of course, depending how the lights hit the screen, you may see that crease, you may see some more reflection than a regular phone because of course we have a larger screen. Now, if the phone is in your pocket and of course you get like a text message or an email and you don't necessarily want to open the phone so you can actually respond to that email, You also have this front screen here. This has a 1080p resolution. It also has a refresh rate of 120 Hz, and it is bright enough to be seen outdoors. The same goes for the bigger screen here, so you can still use this outdoors, but keep in mind there will be more reflection outside, so it is a better experience if you use this indoors. But yes, I did take it outside, and you can see it even in direct sunlight. But I don't have the exact numbers for the peak brightness. It wasn't mentioned in the manufacturer's presentation for this device. But yes, you can see the front screen here, so the secondary screen and the main screen even outside. Now, one thing I've noticed with this device, and it has to do with the hinge here. So when you open it a bit, it tends to want to stay open. So you're not going to be able to open it like halfway, because if you open it this way, it will open all the way. So there is no way to keep it like at a 45-degree angle or at a 90-degree angle. It always wants to stay open or closed. So keep that in mind. With other foldables, you could keep it like at a 90-degree angle or something like that. Well, this one either stays open or closed. Now, there is a case that comes in the box. The box is right here, and I've actually done an unboxing video. If you want to check that out, there will be a link in the video's description. So there is a case that comes in the box. You can put that case on it. It basically goes on this side here. And then you have a little stand, so you can use it as a stand, so you can basically watch TV on your phone or do whatever you want, and the phone just stays there on the desk. Talking about this side here, so this is the side that has the camera system on. So this is made out of, well, it is plastic, some kind of plastic, but it has this very interesting texture on it. It even sounds pretty cool. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but the phone does look different with this texture here. Now, talking about cameras, so of course we have a 50 megapixel camera on the back there that's also capable of 4K at 60 frames per second recordings. And I guess I should show you a quick recording that I've done with this device earlier today. So let's check that out. Alright, and we're moving on to a quick recording done with the Phantom V Fold. For this recording, I'm using the main camera on the back of the device and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. The device can also do 4K at 60 frames per second. I also have the video stabilization enabled. So we're gonna pan left, so towards this cactus here. And we'll pan left once again. So we're gonna basically go out of here. And we'll turn right, so kind of towards the sun, so we'll see how that looks. And we have some flowers to the right here. Let me get close to these. And once again, we're gonna pan right and walk this way. So yeah, this is how recording done with the Phantom V Fold in 4K at 30 frames per second with the main camera would look like. And going back to our camera, so as I mentioned earlier, we have that 50 megapixel main camera, then we have a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, and we also have an ultra wide camera. And then we have two more cameras. So we have one camera here. So for example, you can open the camera here and you can take a selfie with this camera here. So let me take a selfie here. But if you have the device open and let's say that you're doing a video call, you have another camera right here. And you can also use the main camera on the back to actually take pictures. So if you open the camera app, there is a mode where you can have the other screen on, and this way you can actually use the main camera, which is the best camera on the device basically, to take selfies. And it is much easier that way because you can see yourself on that other screen. So another cool feature, because you do have all these extra cameras, extra screens, and so on. So yes, we do have a variety of cameras everywhere, and the pictures that you've been seeing on your screen were taken with this device earlier today. So I feel that they are pretty decent for a foldable device. The build quality on this device is also really nice. So the frame around the device here is made out of metal. So we have metal here, And I've also noticed that we have dual speakers. So we have one speaker at the top here and one speaker at the bottom here. Now, depending how you're holding the device, well, I guess you could always turn it this way and hold it this way and this way you don't actually cover those speakers. But when I was playing a game yesterday, I was holding it this way and I was kind of covering the speakers. But as I said, you could always turn it this way and this way are not gonna cover those speakers, of course. On the right hand side here, we also have the volume button and the power button, and the power button is also a fingerprint scanner. So let me just close this. So you just have to touch this and it will unlock. It takes about half a second to unlock. So it works just as good as the fingerprint scanner that you'd get on pretty much any flagship out there. The other thing I want to talk about is the battery life, because I have to be honest, I was a bit skeptical of the battery life because we do have a pretty large screen. So inside this device, we do have a 5000 milliamp hour battery, and the device also supports 45 watt fast charging. So charging this from 0 to 100 is done in about 55 minutes. Not to mention that there is a charger that comes in the box. So I did take a few screenshots of my battery life, but basically I used only the big screen because I was curious to see how the device performs if you're using the big screen here. And I've also used the screen at the maximum brightness for the entire usage of the device, I'm gonna say. And I was able to get about 6 hours and a half. I did watch a lot of YouTube videos, some music, I did watch some Netflix on the device, I played for a bit. But overall, pretty decent usage, I'm gonna say. So things that everybody would do for their day-to-day usage. So you should be able to get between 6 and 7 hours of screen on time on one charge, even if you're using the big screen here at the maximum brightness. So yeah, this was a super quick look at the Phantom V Fold. I love the fact that the screen on the outside here is big enough that you can actually use this as a regular phone. So if you don't want to open it, if you don't want to unfold it, let's say that you're doing something quick, or not necessarily that you're doing something quick, but you're doing something that doesn't really need that big screen, the screen on the front here is big enough so you can actually do anything that you need to do on the device, which is very important because I did notice that with a lot of foldable, the outer screen here is kind of small. And when you want to do something on the big screen, you just open it and you use that big screen. I love the fact that when closed, there is no gap anywhere. So there will be no dust that goes in between the device here. So if you have it in your pocket, there is no gap in here, which is also very nice. So overall, a very cool looking phone and also priced quite competitively compared to the competition, of course. What do you guys think about this phone? Would you buy a foldable device? What are your thoughts regarding foldable phones? Definitely leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.